Alright, so the plan here is for me to build a plugin based on this suggestion via Twitter. I'm just going to kind of record my process, everything I look up, and just build it from scratch. I don't even have, basically nothing is open right now, other than having this idea for a couple days kind of in the back of my mind, and I've been trying not to think about it too hard. Okay, so basically, yeah, build a plugin from beginning to end is the goal here, although I'm starting fairly late, so I don't know what I'll end up with today. But just so you kind of see my process, hopefully learn something from the way I do it, and more importantly for me is maybe you can give me feedback on how I can do something better in the way I build plugins. So that's the plan. I'll try and narrate kind of as I go along, but I make no promises. I'll just kind of have to see how it goes. I'm going to try and do what I should be doing more and use Vagrant for my my local development instead of XAMPP or MAMP or anything. And this one, while it waits, is the 10-up Varying Vagrant Vagrants. Pretty cool, check it out. And there is a cat in the background, which you may periodically hear in the audio. It's coming. Alright. So I should be able to get this here. Yeah, this cat hasn't been in here all evening, and of course, as soon as I start recording, maybe if I leave her alone, she'll go away. Or crawl over my paper bag, one of the two. Alright, so I have just a basic post right now. 1 second. I have just a basic install right now. Let's see what I have in here. I just had generated some posts for something I was doing yesterday. I don't think I have any plugins, so I was testing one. I'll disable that. Okay, so yeah, basic boring install here, nothing really going on. Let's open this folder. I might mute my mic periodically when the cat is being annoying. Actually, what is this cat doing? Come on. I'm just gonna grab my plugin headers from this. Couple things, but I'll keep it very simple. All right, sorry, dealing with the cat. It's a really handy shortcut, by the way, for anybody using Sublime Text, is to make a selection all lowercase, Command KL. Alright, so now that I have this, I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. I warned you I was going to do this all live. So let's open up a post. find some picture. This broccoli one is pretty sizable, so that should be nice to work with. And just for good measure, let's get some lipsum in here. In text mode, preferably. Yep, it's a post. Alright. So I think what I want to do is put, quite simply, a selection box in here that allows me to choose a size, and then part 2 is going to be making that size apply on the front end. So let's try this. Sure I'm in the right spot. Well, that's really nice. Let's use this. And I'm sure I have some conventions that are weird or strange or anything, and you're welcome to ask. Or I cannot type and talk at the same time, as you can see. Yeah, you're welcome to ask or suggest something better, or if there's something I'm doing wrong, please let me know. Since I don't know exactly the crowd that may be watching this, so apply filter, the hook, and then the 2 parameters, content and post ID. So that's got going on here. And just for, I always like to test things like almost immediately, just to make sure I didn't type something stupid right at the beginning and then troubleshoot what I think is a more complicated bug, and it turns out it was really easy. But I've done this several times recently, so now that I'm remembering, I'm going to activate my plugin before I start debugging it. Alright, yay! Alright, so that's a good spot for that. And ultimately, what I want to be doing here is get alternate image sizes. And then I need to do a second thing. I'm going to have to hook into the save post in order to save that image selection, the size selection. And this one is passed 2 parameters, post ID and the post object. And I'm gonna pull this. There's a couple things I like to grab so I don't have to rewrite it, because I always forget the order. And I'm gonna grab from this other meta box just a couple things. And just again to test. I always get that output buffer stuff weird. Alright. I'm going to end up using FIS quite a bit for my shortened prefix. I don't know why I hate naming nonces. Actually, what I often do here, just for my own sanity, is an N for the nonce name, prefix, something. And then nonce action in the same thing. There's probably a better way to do that, and if someone could enlighten me, that would be great. Oops. So nonce name and the action. Basically, don't bother firing this save stuff if our nonce isn't there, if it's not verified. Don't do anything on autosave, and make sure that the user that's doing something can actually edit that post. So then here is where we will save the selection to meta. Right. And this is going to end up being a select box. I think that makes most sense. You only want to be able to select one image size. So in here, we need to output the image sizes. The best way to do that if I recall, nope, here's that one. But before I get too far, let's see. All right. Better if I do that outside the select so I can actually see it. So here we have our core image sizes, and for a quick test, just making up these numbers. I don't know why I'm changing them. Let's see, create a new image size, and there it is. I don't need that open anymore. Nope. Okay. Alright. So for each image size, some weird autocomplete on Sublime Text 3, so. And there we have it. Very good. All right. I might look up another thing later, but that's for, well, later. All right, so this field name is there. Get our posted field, check it against what's actually allowed, and as long as, actually I like to do this kind of backwards, I hope it's not too confusing. So basically if it's not in the OK sizes, just hit return, then I don't have to deal with nested brackets. And then from here I can just say update post meta post ID. What did I call it over here, even though we're not? It's okay, I know what I'm doing. Hee hee. Update that to our alright. So now let's do a quick test. We'll call it large, update, and good, it echoed large. So now just one little extra thing. Selected equals size, compare it to our saved value, false so it doesn't echo. And huzzah! Okay, so that part was easy enough. Get rid of that test. This seems silly. Alright, so there we set a nonce, grab the saved value. If it exists, start creating our select element, loop through the available image sizes. If the size that we're currently looping through is the same as the saved value, then that'll create the selection automatically. Output that in the save. Again, check that the nonce is even set. Check that we are verified. Don't do anything on autosave. Make sure the user can edit that post. Make sure that the submitted value is in the allowed image sizes. And then if all that checks out, save. So that part wasn't too bad. And all right, so I guess now that seems all right. Can work on, I guess that's kind of out of place now. we can work on getting that custom selection to be applicable on the front, which I think is going to require looking at the theme. I haven't really done a whole lot with customizing 2012, so I might not be quick at finding the right thing. I'm guessing this is what we want to look at. Nope, that's the other header image. I don't do theme dev, so that's what I'm gonna blame. Is it part of the loop? Well, let's take another look here. Okay, it is in the article, so it should be part of the loop, right? There it is. And I'm not gonna hack the theme, I just wanna double check again. Very good. So now, all right. So we're gonna filter this. So I think ideally we'll only want to do this on the main post. This is my theory. Don't mind me. I'm thinking out loud. Okay, I'm just gonna do this the easy way. So I think that should be, let's make this more obvious. All right, that's good. But here is my concern, which I will demonstrate via a plugin. Oh, right. Oh, I hadn't logged in yet. Alright, so I just installed a plugin for a widget. Actually, that's not the best demonstration, is it? Because this creates its own thumbnail. Okay. Demo number 2. Let me close that. Then we open that back up just so I can make it not be in the way. Alright, second demonstration. Alright, I'm gonna go to my test and don't mind this quick code here, just a basic skeleton sort of widget thing. I'm not even going to rename the placeholders because I'm going to delete it pretty much as soon as I'm done. So let's get some posts. Yeah, let's just do it this way. is that just because it's in the sidebar? That would be weird. Oh, duh, because I'm demonstrating the problem I was trying to point out. Okay, so if I come back over here and I disable this filter for the thumbnail size, then I have my large image. So go back to my test and make that a medium. You can see here 300 by 225. And suppose, you know, that's what I wanted there. That's just how I'm doing that. And I want to change the main image. That filter is not specific enough because that post appears twice, so it changes the featured image on both. So, how would be the best way to, what would be the best way to go about fixing that? Let's brainstorm a bit. So in the case of 2012, I don't need header open anymore. It's just grabbing the post thumbnail, which is, oh, let's find out. So here, its thumbnail size has been set. I want to look up something here. Maybe I can think of something. Let's see, does this let me work from inside the Vagrant SSH? Nope, okay. Okay, I have another idea that's completely unrelated to that file. That's never really been much help, has it? That works. I don't know if that's intentional, if that's a quirk, but I'm gonna go with that. So in the main loop, it'll give me true. In the secondary loop, false. There we go. Now this won't be perfect because I created that size after the fact. There we go. That was pretty handy. I love the WP CLI. I think that's pretty cool. All right. Let's do a couple other little things here. Rattle my brain a bit. That probably makes this check redundant, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. It doesn't do any harm. I don't really love the wording there, but that'll do, I guess. But I did think of something else. Alright, so that we got a new one. And we've also got that going on, which isn't what I was thinking of, but it gives me an idea. Let's double, I think I know what's going on there, but let's see if it's as simple as this. Nope. Okay, let's open that one up. Includes post template. Okay, better idea. That thing I thought that did no harm. Let's see. Still, okay. I want to see something. screen has got this Flux app, I think is what it's called. It just dims it. Don't worry about that. I am silly this whole time. Wonderful. Alright, let's get that out of here. I have been on worse little adventures. Alright, so back to what I was doing. I want to set a new featured image. I want to have it be just regular. I don't want a custom size. But I come back later and make a post. And then, uh-oh. So that's my whole adventure, was to get to that point. Ta-da! Alright, that seems sufficient, I think. Let me just double check. Let's make it a little bit fancier. I want to see if I can do something here. And I'm gonna try it on my test plugin. So all of this I can delete again. Let's grab a test page here. Basically what I'm trying to do right now is get a list of all the post types that support post thumbnail. I don't really like that throws an undefined index, but it nope, I don't like the way that works. Okay, let's try. Nope, did I get that wrong? There we go. That's beautiful. Alright, so basically here is just our post type features global. So that lists all of our post types and the features each of them have. And then I run it through WP list filter, checking for thumbnail equals 1 or thumbnails true. And so now I've returned just those that have the thumbnail support enabled, which is pretty rad. Alright, so that is these two lines. Let's bring it back over here. Oh, I can't remember what I wanted to do with that now. Okay, I think, okay, I want to do it. Don't mind me, I'm thinking out loud. Sometimes it's noisy, even when I'm not recording. Alright, so the idea here, let's make sure I did not break this. The idea here is to, like I was showing on this page here, get our post type features, filter that down to just those that have the post types that have thumbnail support. Get just the post type slugs via array keys. Make that array filterable. And then here we're going to get the post type this is inside the admin post thumbnail filter, which is for this section again. And we are going to get the post type of basically the page we're on in the admin. Check if that post type is in our allowed array, and if not, return the content without doing anything. So let me just make sure things are still working as intended. We'll add a new image. I've got a whole variety of trees I can use. Alright, it's good. View page. Do pages not support thumbnails? Now let's make sure it's not a bug and go to a post. must just be a theme thing. Let me check our theme just so I know I'm not crazy. Yeah, okay, there's just no thumbnail there. Okay. So it supports thumbnail but doesn't use it. That's odd, I think. Someone should explain that to me. So that's fine. So the whole point of doing it this way was so that I could do, I don't need this test page anymore. The whole point was so that I could try this. So ideally, if we go back to our page where conveniently it seemed not very useful, it still shows. Let's see if we can figure out why. It's because they are the values, not the keys. That's all right. If the key does not equal false. This one I'm especially careful with the extra type check here at the triple, or the, well, exclamation point equals, is especially with arrays, the answer a lot of time is 0. Because the key, so if I was searching for post, the result would be 0, which would pass a simpler test there. So if that key is not false, meaning if we did get a key, we'll unset that and then return. Ta-da! No option there. And back in our posts, it is. And just to make sure I'm not completely nuts, let's switch it around. It's not on posts. Go back, refresh, and it is on pages. All right, sweet. And this way too, you could do a tighter control on custom post types, so that if you were supporting a featured image for a different use, you could then add this filter to remove this plugin from prevent this plugin from affecting your custom post type functionality. All right. And actually, I think what I might do here, because the array search thing is kind of annoying, is I could just return from here. Why not? I mean, it'll have extra information available like other post type features, but doesn't really, it will be okay. And it would save a few lines. So let's adjust that. So now we're gonna actually have the keys will be the post type slugs, which I still have open on this page. You can see the keys are the slugs. So now in my test, I can go back to what I was doing before. I will add a little bit better of a check though. If is set page, then I don't think it's an issue. Just for my own sanity, does that cause... I can unset something that doesn't necessarily exist, right? And that will allow us to make it simpler. Simple is good. Unless I really break it. Post. Ooh, that's because I switched that around. There you go. So if is set if our post type is in the allowed post types array, show. I don't need to have two edit posts open. And if on a page, there, still hidden. All right, it's a little bit nicer. There we go. It's a working plugin. Probably should be better about putting some information here, but that seems to be doing it. And just for a good measure, I'm gonna put it up on GitHub while I'm recording so you can go and check it out. Assuming I don't screw up my GitHubbing, because that's always fun. Okay. Ta-da! There it is. That's the end.